This is Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom. Words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust that you'll consider this your vitamin or supplement for your heart and mind. And wherever you receive podcasts from, would you please go back and subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom? If you could leave a rating and a brief review, it would be very, very helpful. And please tell your neighbors, your friends, your family about Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom. Today I want to talk about something that is very important in my life, and that is the area of personal development. In other words, never stop learning. In life, you are either growing or you're not. Life is about growing. You will decide who you're going to be. Whoever you are allowing to stop you from being the growing person that you need to be, you need to stop that, and you're going to have to invest in yourself. Many people have no problem investing in their family, investing in their business, making charitable contributions, even financially, putting money away so that they'll have money for their future selves. But they get a little squeamish when it comes to investing in yourselves. And I'm here to tell you it's worth every penny that you invest in yourself. Just by doing so, it's as if you are saying, I will decide who I'm going to be. I'm not going to allow my past or things that my parents or teachers or others have said or what my friends, how they have pegged me. I want to become the best that I can be. One reason that personal development is so important is you're going to have to push yourself. It's no one else's responsibility and no one else's job to push you. You must push yourself. You, my friend, are worth the effort, the time, and the energy to improve. We do not improve naturally. We have to work on it. And that I just want you, as you are thinking about doing things, maybe investing in your future, to just look in your life, the investments that you have made in yourself. If you went to school, someone, either your parents or yourself, invested some money. If you did an apprenticeship, you invested time, you put off doing a lot of other things in order to learn a trade or a skill. You have, in most professions, you have a continuing education component where you continue as your field grows and expands. And as you grow and expand, you have to be a constant learner. You have to stay on top of all of the developments in your field. You push yourself. So you're worth the effort and the time and the energy. It takes effort. It's going to take time. It's going to take finances. It's going to take energy. If you make a commitment today to develop yourself, you're going to have to do it. Now, there are some people who say, well, all I have to do is stay slightly ahead of the competition. If I just stay slightly ahead of my competition, then I'll be fine. Let me help you to define who your competition is. Wherever you are right now, go and look in a mirror. And all you need to do is be better than the person you were yesterday. You see, this is not a game where we're trying to be better than the person in the cubicle next to me or the office down the hall, or I'm trying to be better than my parents or my brother or my best friend, and I'm just trying to incrementally be better than all of these people. Your only competition is yourself. Be the best you can be. Just commit that you're going to be better tomorrow than you were yesterday, that you're going to make and have improvement in your life. And it's not about competing with others. It's about reaching the potential that we have, our God-given talents and ability. Now, let's talk about some ways that this can happen in our lives. First is never stop learning. Oftentimes, I hear people who indicate that once they got out of school, whether that was junior high, high school, college, grad school, apprenticeship, they've just sort of have coasted and they've stopped learning. Just from your personal life as well as your professional life, you cannot run the risk of stopping the learning process. You should be continually developing your mind day by day. I just put on my Twitter account and got quite the feedback from it, a statistic, and again, I don't know the validity of the statistic. Someone basically said that 70% of adults, when they are finished with learning or school, formal education, never go to a bookstore. Now, some took umbrage and said maybe they go to the library, and obviously with Amazon and Barnes and Nobles and other places, you can order books without ever leaving home. With the internet, you can just about read anything, and with blogs and podcasts, you can be learning particularly without buying a book. But whatever the statistic is, there is no doubt that many folks have associated learning with formal education, and that once I'm out of that venue, I sort of give up on it. Another reason that I know this statistic has to be somewhat true is the proliferation of folks and the hours they spend watching television, media, video games. I'm just saying to you that right at the top of personal development has to be this desire to never stop learning. I have to continue to learn. So you're going to need to feed your mind. Now, there are all kinds of personal development programs, books, articles, podcasts, blogs. I dip into most of them because I want to learn as much as I can. I want to redeem the time. I understand that I want to be a better leader tomorrow than I was yesterday. So the very first thing, if you're not willing to spend $1, because what I'm talking about now is an attitude, but it's more important than $1, and that is make it your goal that you are going to be a continual learner. Another area of personal development is your health. This is one, unfortunately, that I neglected for much of my adult life. And within the last year, I have lost weight, I have gotten healthier, I've started exercising and working out. And it's a little bit embarrassing to even have to give this testimony to you today. But here I am at 63 in better health and feeling better, actually, than I feel like at any time in my adult life. And that's on me. But it's never too late to start. It's never too late to make change. Personal development is also about getting an idea of what you would like your future to be. Do you want to be in the same place you are today, 20 years from now or beyond? What do you want the future to look like? You're not going to get there because you receive some, quote, lucky breaks or someone rescues you. You're going to be there because you have decided to be a better tomorrow than you are today and yesterday. That you have decided that things are not going to stay the same. I am going to make the changes that I need to make. So personal development is not only about being better today and learning today and taking care of certain situations today. It's also about what do I have in mind that I need to accomplish and the person that I need to be in order to accomplish it in the future. Your future doesn't start in the future. Your future starts right now. Let me give you some other areas where personal development comes into play. When you're meeting people, look at it as a learning experience. For many years I was a pastor, and I have told people that you can learn things from anyone. And I can remember even the toddlers, the 4 or 5, and even the 6, 7-year-old children. If you listen to them with an open mind, if you look them in the eye, you can even learn valuable lessons from a child. And even if you feel like you're smarter or better educated than someone, some of the greatest lessons I have learned have come from people who didn't have an educational background to envy, but they were wise people. They knew how to take information and apply it in wonderful ways in their lives. And so it's not just books, it's not just blogs, it's not just podcasts, it's not just webinars in which you learn. You can learn from conversations with people. As a lifelong talker, this has been a hard lesson for me to learn, but I've never learned much by talking, but I've always learned something if I stop and listen. I was just with a group of about 10 of my colleagues in a meeting, and I went into the meeting with this idea: I'm not going to be the one who does the majority of the talking. I'm going to sit back and listen and take notes. Now, I did enter into the conversation, but I made it my goal not to dominate the conversation, but to listen. And I came home with about 3 or 4 pages of notes that were inspirational and rich and helpful. So meeting people, listening to people will help you immensely to develop yourself. Personal development is not just about learning more, it's also about developing skills. One of the things that I have discovered in these later years is the power of YouTube. I'm not mechanically inclined, and so just a simple fixing of something is a major deal, and I might say a major ordeal for my wife and I. But I have gone onto YouTube and I follow the tutorials that will teach you, as I've said before, how to chew bubblegum, how to tie shoestrings, all the way to how to build a car from the junkyard. You can learn anything, and so there's no reason. It's never been easier to learn a new skill and to develop skills than it is today. Maybe once a week or once a month, make up your mind you're going to learn how to do something you don't know. Just 4 months ago, I had no idea how to podcast, and I am now bearing down on having recorded 100 episodes. You can develop the skills, but you have to want to. Another area of personal development would be the area of self-awareness. I mean, I always knew that I liked to talk, but it's only in these years as I've tried to develop myself that I became more self-aware that when I'm talking all of the time and dominating a conversation, no one else is allowed to enter in. And I really leave the meeting not knowing one more thing than I did before I went in. Now, I understand there are times when I'm the one that's leading the meeting and you have to be the one giving the information. But when I'm meeting with my colleagues, I've become much more cognizant of the fact I'm going to listen. And through that, I have learned, and that's because of developing self-awareness. I have begun to learn how I strike other people, that oftentimes our weaknesses are overextensions of our strength. It's great to be able to talk, but it's horrible when you won't let anyone else talk. Let me just give you a brief rundown of some of the things that I believe really are invaluable when it comes to personal development. I've used personal development to help give direction to my life, because if you just sort of float through, then the television, that will become what you fill your mind with. This year I've kind of gone on a fast on news and other sorts of things and just get brief reports. I can't tell you the difference it's made both attitudinally and I think intellectually. So personal development will give direction to your life. I think it also gives a focus. If I'm focused on being the best me, that is something I have control over. I have no control over what my boss does, what my parents do, what my children do, what my neighbors do, what my friends do, what the President of the United States, the Congress. I have no control over that. But if I focus on myself, that is the one person I actually have some say-so in how they do. So focus on becoming a better you. I have also noticed, likewise, that my effectiveness has improved exponentially in certain areas because I'm not resting on past laurels and past information and past training, but I am seeking daily to learn new things, to become better and to get better. And that can't do anything but help you in the area of your effectiveness. Personal development has served as a motivation for me. As I read stories of people who have overcome almost insurmountable odds, and have become the best that they can be and are making a difference in their world, it really motivates me. It motivates me when I realize that my future is not predicated on what job I have or who likes me or who doesn't like me, but it is predicated on God's grace and me being the best that I can be and making a continual effort to be better. The last thing that I just want to say in this little brief time about personal development is one of the greatest things that comes by it is it recharges my batteries. It helps me to become the best that I can be, and that is significantly important. I say to you, leader, make an effort, make it a goal, make it, just determine it in your heart that you are going to develop yourself. Set a goal in your life big enough that you'll have to grow into it. Don't just set a goal that your person today, the person you are today, can achieve it. Set a goal big enough that you're going to have to grow and stretch and develop yourself in order to see it happen. And I believe you can do that. I believe all of us are just scraping the surface of what we could do if we gave ourselves totally to being all that we can be. You've been listening to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I'm hoping that you considered today this episode to be a vitamin or supplement for your mind and heart. And once again, however you receive and wherever you receive podcasts from, would you please go back and subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, leave a rating and a brief written review. Never stop learning. Develop the skills, meet new people, become self-aware, find direction, focus, effectiveness, motivation, and get your batteries recharged. And remember, leader, this is Dr. Ron telling you, you're doing better than you think you are. And until next time, have a great and blessed day.